One, Many Lives, Many Masters by Brian L. Weiss. Have you read this?
I have not.
Okay, so this is good for you and me. I don't know about you, but I'm writing my list down.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so this book, I would have read it, I'm thinking in my late teens, probably when I was 17, 18 or something like that. And I was starting my spiritual journey. And I think my mom was the one who introduced me to this book. But the whole idea, it says at the front of it, it says, the true story of a prominent psychiatrist, his young patient, and the past life therapy that changed both their lives. So the whole premise of the book is basically this psychiatrist, and he's very pragmatic. He's not spiritual. He's, really by the books, scientific, all that kind of stuff. Insert whatever words you want there. And he has this patient, and he kind of illustrates her as being really beautiful and really accomplished and all these sort of things. But she has insane anxiety, can't go out into like all of these issues, all of these traumatic things that are kind of like she's afraid of so many things. She's really wants to stay at home a lot, that kind of thing, right? All these ailments. And anyway, so he's a hypnotherapist, so he does hypnotherapist sessions with her. But at a certain point, she starts to relive past lives. And every time she relives a past life and dies in that life, that the way that she dies, that issue is resolved in her current life. So, for example, in one of her lives, she drowned. After reliving that and dealing with that, then her fear of water in real life has subsided and gone away. One of the things that was really interesting in the books as well is the characters or the roles of the people in her life today showing up as different people and characters in her past lives. So where someone might be a friend or a teacher in this life now might have been a parent in a past life, for example. So it's the stories of all of these different incarnations. And I think she had upwards of 80 or something like that. And it's an incredible book. And at a certain point, and this is sort of giving it away, but I need to set up what I'm going to read. What happens is after she dies, she doesn't come out of the session right away, right? She's sort of still in the hypnosis state, theta state, possibly. Anyway, she's in that state. And all of a sudden she starts channeling information for Brian, the teacher. And Brian's gone on to now be really active in Hay House, and he's got past life deck. I think he did with Doreen Virtue and all that sort of stuff. I think I have it somewhere here. Anyway, so there's these messages that start to come through from the masters. And these messages are very profound, and they start to happen at the end of some of these life experiences. So I'll read from one of these. And this is page 185. And it's been years since I've read this book, so I allowed Spirit to guide me. I don't know about you, Candice, how you did it, but I just kind of flipped through a few things of the books that were in this current. And so this says, and this is a little bit long, sorry, I'll do my best to read this quickly, but it is on this plane that some souls are allowed to manifest themselves to the people who are still in physical form. They are allowed to come back only if they have left some agreement unfulfilled. On this plane, intercommunication is allowed, but the other planes, this is where you're allowed to use your psychic abilities and communicate with people in physical form. There are many ways to do this. Some are allowed the power of sight and can show themselves to the people still in physical form. Others have the power of movement and are allowed to telepathically move objects. You only go to this plane if it is useful for you to go there. If you have left an agreement that has not been fulfilled, you may choose to go here and communicate in some way, but that is all. To which the agreement must be fulfilled. If your life has been abruptly ended, this would be a reason for you to go to this plane. Many people choose to come here because they are allowed to see those who are still in physical form and very close to them. But not everyone chooses to have communication with these. To some people, it may be too frightening. Catherine fell silent and seemed to be resting, and then she began to whisper very softly, and this is really the part I wanted to read. I see the light. Does the light give you energy? I asked. It's like starting over. It's a rebirth. How can people in physical form feel this energy? How can they tap into it and be recharged? By their minds, she said softly. But how do they reach this state? They must be in a very relaxed state. You can renew through light, through the light. You must be very relaxed so you no longer are expending energy, but you are renewing yours. When you sleep, you get renewed. And so I love that. I know at the beginning, I guess in hindsight, I probably wouldn't have read that whole part about the different planes, but it just talks about the different stages of life and when you die and all the different stuff that's going on, which is just so cool. But I loved, and I really wanted to drive home the whole idea of being renewed through the light. And I think that we forget that we are these souls of the light in a human body, and that we have the power to shapeshift and heal and transmute energy. And so there's this man that I listened to, Dick Sutphen, Sutphen, on Empower You Radio. He's passed now. He's a hypnotherapist. He's got some profound meditations on there. And one of them is you actually become the light. So you go into a hypnosis sort of state, then you ascend, and then you actually go up and you merge and you become one with the light. And I remember I did it the first time. I've done it since a few times. But you actually can look down and there's nothing there. You are just one with the light. And so it's just a gentle reminder that if you're wanting to rejuvenate or heal, to come back, to meditate, to bring in that light. Marianne Williamson has an amazing meditation. I'll put a link to it now when Candice, you're speaking, where it's only 8 minutes, but you essentially have an angel pour light in through the crown of your head and go all through your body, and you become one with the light. So yeah.
Beautiful. Amazing. Amazing. I have not read that, but I've just written it down. It's on my list. It's now on my new list.
Yeah, it's really, really beautiful, really, really powerful.